Hi, I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation, and this topic, should I be upset that my husband watches porn? I'm going to use this topic to tell you so much more than just a yes or no with an explanation, but I will go there. But I want to share with you about your marriage in general, because if you think about it, your husband isn't watching porn just out of the blue. He's married to you, and he has specific needs, as you do, and you got married to fulfill those needs, as he did. And when we, as human beings, aren't getting our needs fulfilled, we typically look for some way to have our needs fulfilled. And in marriage, it's very tricky because people don't understand marriage. They don't have good communication with each other. They don't know what's okay to expect, what's okay to ask, what's okay to be critical of, etc. And so these important needs that we have aren't being fulfilled. And we don't know how to express our needs. And now here's the amazing part. The amazing part is we don't even know what those needs are. It's not at the tip of our tongue, and it should be. Why did you get married? Why did you get married? You got married, you're probably thinking, well, I got married because I met the man I wanted to be married to. But that isn't the question that I asked. Why would you want to be married at all? And I've worked with hundreds, thousands of people since over 20 years ago when I began this. I used to be a divorce mediator. And I asked the question, why get married at all? And most people think, well, I don't want to be lonely. I want to be with someone. My last breath, I want to have someone who I'm looking into their eyes, they're looking into mine, we're holding hands, and we're feeling love. And that's the answer, love. We want love. That's only half of the answer. And it's not even a complete answer. You look up love. Go ahead and look up love. Google it and see what you see. They say it's an increased like. It's an emotion. That's not what it is. You know that it's not what it is. You know what love is. It's so real. It's so powerful. I often use the example of when we go to a wedding, and there's that moment when there's this explosion of love in our heart, and the mind can't even handle it. It's too much for the mind. It's otherworldly because it is, in fact, love, when you think about it, it's the only reality. We're souls. We're not animals. We're not advanced animals. We're souls. We have a body and we have a mind. But the nature of our soul, God created man in his image. That doesn't mean that God has feet and hands and a head and all of that. God's love. That's the image that he created us in. That's our soul. And we have to have that love. And this is not religious. This is real. And we know love when we feel it. It brings tears to your eyes. It's overwhelming. Because the mind is mundane. It's just a calculator. It's a way of receiving information and conveying and remembering things and getting along in God's creation, but it isn't supernatural like you, the soul, are. You know, there's a passage in the Bible that says, be still and know. So you try that. You close your eyes, you take a deep breath, hold it, let it go, and just feel your heart. And you'll feel so much peace. That's the nature of you, the soul. When your husband married you, He had the same need to fulfill. Unconditional love. Not a greater like, not an emotion, but the real deal. The other part that he wanted, because I said there's two parts to this, is the happiness that comes along with love. I float in that joy most of the time because I'm a meditator. The happiness is within. But when you get married, you're to make each other happy. And when you took your vows, you didn't say, and I will make you happy as long as you make me happy. You didn't say that. Many people write their own vows now, and it's very romantic, very deep, very personal. But always included is a vow to the other. I will make you happy. I will fulfill your needs, your highest needs for love. Have you been? Now, if your husband is watching porn, it's not your fault. That's not where I'm going with this. But I'm explaining what happens. We don't learn how to control our minds. We don't learn how to choose which emotion to go along with. In fact, we're taught, go along with all of them, honor them, which is nonsense. We're not taught how to master our minds. We're not taught how to cultivate love, which you can do. You have free will. You can cultivate the love in your home, in your relationship. You can transform your marriage to what it was meant to be, but you never articulated. A hive of happiness filled with love, devotion, loyalty, expressions of kindness, sweetness, compassion. An arena in your lives where you don't let any negativity in. You don't let any complaining in. You don't let any criticism in. No expectations, only love. That's what marriage is meant to be built upon. So, you have not been getting that love either. What are you doing about it? What are you escaping to? Are you filling your life with your children? With your friends? With other activities? You're escaping. You're escaping that marriage. Before you discovered your husband using porn, he's escaping. Now, you don't have to be a genius, no matter how you look at it, to recognize that it is not good. It isn't good for him. Certainly not good for those poor women who are objects of merciless people who have put them into pornography. But they too are escaping. They don't feel love, or they would never do that to their bodies, to themselves. It's a losing deal all the way around. It's hurting the marriage because he's not putting attention into the marriage, proper attention. So now what happens? So do you have a right to be upset about it? A right? I don't know. If you want to be, what's that going to get you? What do you want? Do you want to win? Do you want to show your husband what a jerk he is and how great you are because you're a wonderful moralist and you can point out his flaw? You caught him? By the way, never confront him on it. No. You want what you got married for in the first place, to feel unconditional love, to cultivate that love, because love is ever expanding, it's infinite, and to cultivate the happiness in your marriage. You still can. You can start from right now. Now, I truly suggest you learn how, and I suggest you learn how from us, because, frankly, We understand marriage at the Marriage Foundation, and others do not. They just don't. We're cutting edge. We're at the front of the wave. It's coming. You have to learn how to control your mind to master it. You have to learn how your mind works. You have to understand it. You have to understand yourself as a soul who has a body and a mind, and understand what your gender does to the mind, along with all of the primal instincts. You have to learn how it operates with your husband. You have to know yourselves, and then you have to know how to cultivate that love, how to feel that connection that you signed up for. It's really sad when you think about the state of the world. And it all can be healed starting with your own marriage. You know, I have lots of friends, and many of them complain about the gas prices or this happening or that happening. And they spend so much time occupying themselves with what end up being trivial compared to love. Because love. You know, I admired Steve Jobs. The guy was just a phenomenal mind. But at the end of his life, he said he lost. He had it all. Not all of it, apparently. He had money, power. But he admitted he didn't have connection. He didn't have that love. He missed the boat. Missed the boat. It's not about financial prosperity. That's not what life is about. It's not about becoming a great athlete. It's not about becoming a hero on the battlefield, although we admire those people very much. It's about evolving to the point of where we recognize how important love is, and then we do something about it. You're married. Are you loving your husband with all your heart, mind, and soul when you ask this question about how you feel about him using porn? Is there compassion which comes from the heart? Or is there judgment? Don't give up on your marriage. Don't give up on yourself. Learn to love your husband unconditionally. I hope you like this video. Leave a like, leave a comment, peruse our website. I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation to serve. And I hope you receive the benefits that we offer. And I appreciate your taking time with me. Thank you, and God bless you. Take care.